boy. Good boy.
Overcoming obstacles is a discipline of 3 critical steps. It begins with how we look at our specific problems, our attitude or approach. Then the energy and creativity with which we actively break them down and turn them into opportunities. Finally, the cultivation and maintenance of an inner will that allows us to handle defeat and difficulty. It's 3 interdependent, interconnected, and fluidly contingent disciplines: perception, action, and the will. A simple process, but again, never easy. The first discipline is perception. So what is perception? It's how we see and understand what occurs around us and what we decide those events will mean. Our perceptions can be a source of strength or of great weakness. If we are emotional, subjective, and short-sighted, we only add to our troubles. To prevent becoming overwhelmed by the world around us, we must, as the ancients practiced, learn how to limit our passions and their control over our lives. It takes skill and discipline to bat away the pests and bad perceptions, to separate reliable signals from deceptive ones, to filter out prejudice, expectation, and fear, but it's worth it, for what is left is truth. While others are excited or afraid, we will remain calm and imperturbable. We will see things simply and straightforwardly, as they truly are, neither good nor bad. This will be an incredible advantage for us in the fight against obstacles. You will come across obstacles in life, fair and unfair. You will discover time and time again that what matters most is not what these obstacles are, but how we see them, how we react to them, and whether we keep our composure. You will learn that this reaction determines how successful we will be in overcoming or possibly thriving because of them. Where one person sees crisis, another can see opportunity. Where one is blinded by success, another sees reality with ruthless objectivity. Where one loses control of emotions, another can remain calm. Desperation, despair, fear, powerlessness, these reactions are functions of our perceptions. You must realize, nothing makes us feel this way. We choose to give into such feelings, or choose not to. Outward appearances are deceptive. What's within them, beneath them, is what really matters. We can learn to perceive things differently, to cut through the illusions that others believe or fear. We can stop seeing the problems in front of us as problems. We can learn to focus on what things really are. Too often, we react emotionally, get despondent, and lose our perspective. All that does is turn bad things into really bad things. Unhelpful perceptions can invade our minds, that sacred place of reason, action, and will, and throw off our compass. Our brains evolved for an environment very different from the one we currently inhabit. As a result, we carry all kinds of biological baggage. Humans are still primed to detect threats and dangers that no longer exist. Think of the cold sweat you get when you're stressed about money, or the fight or flight response that kicks in when your boss yells at you. Our safety is not truly at risk here. There is little danger that we will starve and that violence will break out, though certainly at times it may feel that way. We have a choice about how we respond to this situation, or any situation for that matter. We can be blindly led by these primal feelings, or we can understand them and learn to filter them out. Discipline in perception lets you clearly see the advantage and the proper course of action in every situation, without the pestilence of panic or fear. The next discipline when overcoming an obstacle is action. What is action? Action is commonplace. Right action is not. As a discipline, it's not any kind of action that will do, but directed action. Everything must be done in the service of the whole. Step by step, action by action, will dismantle the obstacles in front of us. With persistence and flexibility, we'll act in the best interest of our goals. Action requires courage, not brashness, creative application, and not brute force. Our movements and decisions define us. We must be sure to act with deliberation, boldness, and persistence. Those are the attributes of right and effective action. Nothing else, not thinking or evasion or aid from others. Action is the solution and the cure to our predicaments. So how about you? When you're dealt a bad hand, what's your response? Do you fold, or do you play it out for all you've got? There's an explosion, metaphoric or otherwise. Are you the guy running toward it or running away from it? Or worse, are you paralyzed and do nothing? This little test of character says everything about us. And it's sad that so many of us fail, opting away from action, because action is natural, innate. You trip and fall right now, your body's instincts protect you. You extend your hands to break your fall so you don't break your face. In a vicious accident, you go into shock but still manage to get your arms up around your face. That's where we get the term defensive wounds. We don't think, we don't complain, we don't argue, we act. We have real strength, more strength than we know. But in our lives, when our worst instincts are in control, we dally. We act frail and are powerless to make ourselves better. We may be able to articulate a problem, even potential solutions, but then weeks, months, or sometimes years later, the problem is still there, or it's even gotten worse. As though we expect someone else to handle it, as though we honestly believe that there is a chance of obstacles unobstacling themselves. We've all done it, said, I'm so overwhelmed, tired, stressed, busy, blocked, outmatched. And then what do we do about it? Go out and party, or treat ourselves, or sleep in, or wait? It feels better to ignore or pretend, but you know deep down that that isn't going to truly make it any better. You've got to act, and you've got to start now. We forget, in life, it doesn't matter what happens to you or where you came from. It matters what you do with what happens and what you've been given. And the only way you'll do something spectacular is by using it all to your advantage. The third and final discipline when overcoming an obstacle is will. What is will? Will is our internal power, which can never be affected by the outside world. It is our final trump card. If action is what we do when we still have some agency over our situation, the will is what we depend on when agency has all but disappeared. Placed in some situation that seems unchangeable and undoubtedly negative, we can turn it into a learning experience, a humbling experience, a chance to provide comfort to others. We must prepare for adversity and turmoil. We must learn the art of acquiescence and practice cheerfulness even in dark times. Too often, people think that will is how bad we want something. In actuality, the will has a lot more to do with surrender than with strength. Try God willing over the will to win, or willing it into existence. For even those attributes can be broken. True will is quiet, humility, resistance, and flexibility. The other kind of will is weakness disguised by bluster and ambition. See which lasts longer under the hardest of obstacles. If perception and action were the disciplines of the mind and the body, the will is the discipline of the heart and the soul. The will is the one thing we control completely, always. Whereas I can try to mitigate harmful perceptions and give 100% of my energy to actions. Those attempts can be thwarted or inhibited. My will is different because it is within me. Will is fortitude and wisdom, not just about specific obstacles, but about life itself and where the obstacles we are facing fit within it. It gives us the ultimate strength, as in the strength to endure, contextualize, and derive meaning from the obstacles that we cannot simply overcome. This was The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. If you have any other book recommendations, throw them in the comments and we'll give them a read.